Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially day number 36 of the ongoing government shutdown, officially the longest government shutdown in all of United States history, and I'll tell you what, President Trump has had enough. You see, just earlier this morning, President Trump personally summoned every single Senate Republican to the White House in order to issue a very clear message, and that message is very simple. It's time to go nuclear, it's time to terminate the Senate filibuster, and it's time to finally save this country. So, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, let's get right into it. Take a look.
So, as you know, we are in the midst of a disastrous Democrat-created government shutdown, and it is Democrat-created, but I don't think they're getting really the blame that they should. That's now officially the longest shutdown in American history. The Democrat radicals in the Senate have shown zero interest in reopening the government, and I don't think they'll act so soon. A lot of people disagree. I've been saying for the last 30 days, we've had 4 or 5 different points. Yes, sir, they're going to get it right now. We should have it done in a day. I've heard that about 4 times. I heard it after Kings. You know, they said I was a king. And I heard it after Kings. I heard it after a couple of other moments in time. And I said, no, I don't believe so. And now I heard it's after the election. I don't believe so. I think they will. I think they're kamikaze pilots. I just got back from Japan. I talked about the kamikaze pilots. I think these guys are kamikaze. They'll take down the country if they have to.
And so, folks, that is exactly what the Democrats have been doing for years now. Really, this government shutdown just happens to be the most recent example of the Democrats' anti-American behavior, but as we all know, they've been trying to undermine and destroy this nation for decades now. Which is why President Trump just had this to say.
It's time for Republicans to do what they have to do, and that's terminate the filibuster. It's the only way you can do it. And if you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape. We won't pass any legislation. There'll be no legislation passed for 3 1/4. We have 3 1/4 years, so that's a long time. But when they can't do an extension, and John, I think they've done an extension every single time they've ever been asked forever. This is the first time they haven't done an extension. Extensions are supposed to be easy, but if they won't do an extension, they won't do any bill, even a simple bill. And we should do our own bills. We should get out. We should do our own bills. We should open up. We should start tonight with the country's open. Congratulations. Then we should pass voter ID. We should pass no mail-in voting. We should pass all the things that we want to pass, make our elections secure and safe, because California is a disaster. Many of the states are disasters. But can you imagine when they vote almost unanimously against voter ID? All we want is voter ID. You go to a grocery store, you have to give ID. You go to a gas station, you give ID. But for voting, they want no voter ID. That's only for one reason, because they cheat. We would pass that in 15 minutes.
And so, folks, I don't know about all of you, but to me personally, that sounds like a pretty good idea. But now, of course, one of the major traditional concerns with removing the Senate filibuster, going nuclear, which would reduce the number of votes needed in the Senate from 60 all the way down to 51, is that maybe this rule change would come back to bite all of us Republicans in the butt at some point in the future. Now, maybe that would be a valid concern, except for the fact that the Democrats have been publicly talking about nuking the filibuster for years now. To be very clear, they've already promised time and time again that if they ever regain control of the House, the Senate, and the White House, nuking the filibuster is on their day number 1 agenda. Which is why President Trump had this to say. Take a look.
If I thought that they weren't going to pass the filibuster, I wouldn't even bring it up. They're going to pass it within the first hour. If they take power, and it's more likely that they take power if we don't do it, because we're not going to be passing any legislation. They're not going to approve anything. We're going to go 3 1/4 years. There won't be one bill that we're going to pass, because the easiest thing to pass is exactly right now what they won't pass. And they'll do that, and they'll wreak havoc. But let's assume they get it. They're doing it anyway, so it wouldn't matter. They're doing it anyway.
And so, folks, once again, this isn't just baseless speculation here. The Democrats have been publicly talking about going nuclear for years now, even decades. They have promised to do it. But now, ladies and gentlemen, this next clip is where President Trump issues his direct scorched earth message to the Senate GOP. And so, of course, I want all of you to take a look at that. But first, I do want to quickly say that if you folks enjoy the daily news updates, please consider subscribing to the channel, because it really does help a ton. But okay, check this out.
I think it's very important. We have to get the country open, and the way we're going to do it this afternoon is to terminate the filibuster. And it's possible you're not going to do that, and I'm going to go by your wishes. You're very smart people. We're good friends, but I think it's a tremendous mistake, really. It would be a tragic mistake, actually. It's time. It's time. If I thought they weren't going to approve, I'd sort of be with you. I'd be fine. I'd be neutral to with you. But knowing that they're going to pass it as soon as they get any semblance of control, they'll pass it first thing, then it's like we have to do it first. And we have 2 years, and we'll end up with 2-3 years, and we'll have this country so perfect. We will have passed more legislation than any Congress and any group of senators or a group of congressmen, and we will get it through. They'll send it to us. We'll send it to them. It'll be a beautiful machine. Otherwise, we're just going to sit around and argue with these people all day long, and they're highly unrealistic. Many of them are radical left subversives, frankly.
And that word, ladies and gentlemen, subversive, is pretty much the perfect word here. Their goal, the goal of the Democrats, is not to make the United States of America a better, more prosperous country, and they most certainly don't care whatsoever about improving the lives of actual Americans. No, to the contrary, their only goal is actually to tear down this country by importing tens of millions of immigrants from the third world while making all of us actual American citizens pay for the entire process. Speaking of which, take a listen to just how high the stakes really are right now.
The biggest thing is the filibuster. We have to get the country going. We will pass legislation at levels you've never seen before, and it'll be impossible to beat us. By the way, if they do, they're going to do it anyway, and they are going to immediately do the filibuster. And when they do the filibuster, they're going to pack the court. They want at least five justices. Now I hear it's up to 5. I actually heard up to 7 and up to 9, okay? They want new judges. They want to pack the court, and they will do it in the first day, maybe the week. Maybe they'll slow it down because there's no reason to rush. But they'll do it first week. They'll vote on this, and I have friends over there that are Democrats. I'm close to a lot of people, and I asked them about that because some people say, well, maybe they won't do that. I mean, they destroyed the career of Manchin and Sinema, and they got them out. They were the only objectors. Nobody else is going to object. They're going to do it the first day. They're going to pack the court. They're going to make D.C. a state, and they're going to make Puerto Rico a state. So now they pick up 2 states. They pick up 4 senators, okay? You think you have problems? They're going to do all of the things. They're going to pick up electoral votes. It's going to be a very, very bad situation. And it's done. It's done.
And so, folks, all of that is really what's at stake right now. Yes, this is about the ongoing government shutdown, but as we all know, if the Democrats ever get back in control of this country, not only are they going to go nuclear, but they're also going to reopen the southern border, they're going to start packing the Supreme Court, and they're going to start packing in brand new states, all so that they can ensure that they never lose power ever again. Really, their ultimate goal is to rob this country from all of us legitimate, authentic American citizens, mathematically disenfranchising all of us in the process to make sure that all of us never have a say in how this country is governed ever again. So, ladies and gentlemen, with all of that being said on this one, I'm with President Trump 100% of the way. The Senate Republicans should go nuclear immediately because I'll tell you what, that is what it's going to take to actually put America first.